Hi everyone, it's Motivation Monday once again here on Everyday Kentucky. I am Amber Canoy and Dr. Stacey High is with us over at Bluegrass Hearing Clinic. We're trying to figure out what inspired her to go into audiology.
Well, when I was at the University of Kentucky for my undergraduate, I was in the communication disorders program for speech pathology, and I had an audiology class with Dr. Ann Olson, and she had us do some hands-on things with some of the equipment, audiometers, hearing aids, and had us shadow one of the audiologists at the UK ENT office. And she introduced me to audiology. Before that, I didn't really know much about it. And I decided after that class that speech pathology was not for me, and that audiology was. And it was my senior year of college, right before we had to apply for graduate school, and I decided to apply to audiology programs instead of speech pathology. And I've never looked back since.
Yeah, it's amazing how one person can kind of shift and rock your world, and everything you thought you were going to be doing is now completely different, but then you get, years down the road and you can't imagine doing anything else.
No, I can't.
So what motivates you to come to work every day?
The relationships that I have with my patients. This is more like a journey for them. It's not one and done.
Right.
And I have a lot of patients, different ages, young and old, because hearing loss does not discriminate.
Right.
And I have cried lots of tears with a lot of patients, young and old. I have several young patients that I can think of that are in the midst of their careers, and they come in for a hearing test because they're struggling and they really don't think they're going to get bad news, and I have to give them bad news. And I've cried because of the bad news, and then I've cried when they've heard again for the first time in a long time, and then I see them routinely every 6 months, every year, and we monitor their hearing and how they're doing in their day-to-day. And sometimes we cry more tears of sadness, and sometimes we cry really good tears. And just that relationship that I have and being able to be with them throughout this journey and see how I can improve their quality of life is what keeps me going in this.
I think a lot of people take for granted hearing.
Yes.
Like if all of a sudden it starts to deteriorate and you lose it altogether, like what you're missing out on, just the sound of the voice, of the people you love. I mean, it's definitely something we don't need to take for granted, and get it checked regularly to make sure we're not having any issues for
Yes.
sure. All right, join us again for Motivation Monday here on Everyday Kentucky.